In a small village nestled in the heart of Africa, lived two sisters, Amina and Nafisa. Amina, the elder sister, was renowned for her extraordinary beauty. Her skin was smooth and radiant, her hair long and glossy, and her eyes sparkled like the stars in the night sky. Everywhere she went, people admired her beauty and showered her with compliments. She was often compared to the beautiful flowers that bloomed in the village, and her presence brought joy to everyone around her. Nafisa, the younger sister, was quite the opposite. She had a rugged face, her skin was coarse, and her hair was dull and lifeless. Unlike Amina, Nafisa received no admiration. Instead, she was often met with disdain and harsh words from the villagers. People whispered behind her back, calling her ugly and avoiding her company. Her presence was often overlooked, and she felt like a shadow in her sister's light. Despite the stark contrast in their appearances, Amina loved her sister dearly and always tried to include her in everything she did. She believed that beauty was not just about looks, but also about kindness and compassion. However, Nafisa couldn't help but feel a deep sense of jealousy and resentment toward Amina. Every compliment Amina received felt like a dagger to Nafisa's heart. She yearned for the same love and attention but knew it would never come her way. As the days passed, Nafisa's jealousy grew stronger. She began to distance herself from Amina and spent most of her time alone, brooding over her misfortune. The villagers' constant praise of Amina only fueled Nafisa's bitterness. Amina, oblivious to the depth of Nafisa's feelings, continued to show her sister kindness. She often brought Nafisa small gifts, hoping to cheer her up. One day, Amina brought home a beautiful necklace made of colorful beads. "Look, Nafisa," she said, her eyes gleaming with excitement. "I got this for you. I thought it might make you happy." Nafisa took the necklace reluctantly, forcing a smile. "Thank you, Amina," she said, but inside, her heart burned with envy. She couldn't understand why Amina was so kind to her when she had everything Nafisa lacked. One fateful day, the village held a grand festival to celebrate the harvest season. There were dances, music, and feasts. Everyone dressed in their finest clothes, and the atmosphere was filled with joy and laughter. Amina, as usual, was the center of attention. She danced gracefully, her beauty captivating everyone around her. The village elders praised her, and young men admired her from afar. Nafisa stood in the shadows, watching her sister with a heavy heart. As she observed the villagers' adoration for Amina, something snapped inside her. The envy and resentment that had been simmering for so long reached a boiling point. She could no longer bear to live in her sister's shadow. Consumed by jealousy, Nafisa devised a terrible plan. She would get rid of Amina's beauty once and for all. That night, while everyone was asleep, Nafisa crept into the kitchen and filled a pot with water. She placed it on the stove and waited for it to boil, her heart pounding with a mix of fear and determination. As she watched the water bubble, memories of the villagers' hurtful words and Amina's constant praise filled her mind. She felt a twisted sense of satisfaction, thinking that this act would finally bring her peace. When the water began to bubble, Nafisa carefully carried the pot to Amina's room. Amina was fast asleep, her face peaceful and serene. Nafisa stood over her sister, her hands trembling. For a moment, she hesitated, but the memory of the villagers' scornful looks and hurtful words pushed her forward. With a surge of anger, Nafisa tipped the pot, and the boiling water cascaded over Amina's face. Amina screamed in agony, the pain jolting her awake. The sound of her sister's cries echoed through the house, waking their parents. Their parents rushed into the room and were horrified by the sight. Amina's beautiful face was covered in burns, her skin blistered and red. Nafisa stood frozen, the empty pot still in her hands, realizing the gravity of what she had done. The village healer was summoned immediately, but the damage was severe. Amina's face would never be the same. The villagers were outraged when they heard what had happened. They couldn't believe that Nafisa, despite her jealousy, would do something so cruel to her own sister. Nafisa was consumed by guilt and regret. She had wanted to make Amina suffer, but now she realized the true horror of her actions. Her sister, who had always been kind to her, was now permanently scarred because of her envy. Despite the pain and suffering she endured, Amina never once blamed Nafisa. She understood the torment her sister had felt and chose to forgive her. Nafisa, Amina said softly, her voice weak but filled with love, I forgive you. I know you were hurting. Nafisa broke down in tears. I'm so sorry, Amina. I never meant for this to happen. I was just so jealous, and I couldn't control it. In the days that followed, Amina's beauty faded, but her inner strength and kindness shone brighter than ever. She became a symbol of resilience and forgiveness in the village. The villagers, who had once only seen her for her beauty, now admired her for her character. They began to realize that true beauty was not just about physical appearance, but also about the goodness of one's heart. Amina's scars became a testament to her strength and the depth of her forgiveness. Nafisa, on the other hand, was filled with remorse. She dedicated herself to caring for Amina and helping her recover. She worked tirelessly, tending to Amina's wounds and making sure she was comfortable. The sisters grew closer than ever before, bound by a painful but powerful lesson. Their bond became stronger, and Nafisa found solace in Amina's forgiveness. Over time, the village's perception of beauty began to change. They realized that true beauty came from within, not from outward appearances. They learned to appreciate people for their kindness, generosity, and strength of character, rather than their physical looks. The story of Amina and Nafisa spread far and wide, serving as a reminder of the dangers of jealousy and the power of forgiveness. As years passed, Amina and Nafisa continued to live in the village. Amina's face, though scarred, was a symbol of her inner beauty and resilience. She became a respected figure in the village, known for her wisdom and compassion. Nafisa, on the other hand, found peace in helping others and dedicated her life to making amends for her actions. She worked alongside the village healer, learning the art of healing and using her knowledge to help those in need. The tale of Amina and Nafisa was passed down through generations, becoming a legend in the village. Parents would tell their children the story, teaching them about the importance of inner beauty, the dangers of jealousy, and the power of forgiveness. The village prospered, and the lessons learned from Amina and Nafisa's story continued to guide the villagers in their daily lives. And so, the story of the two sisters remained etched in the hearts and minds of the villagers, a timeless reminder that true beauty lies within and that forgiveness and love have the power to heal and transform even the deepest wounds.